With a little bit of dedication, everybody can appreciate the Negroni. I'm Brian Johnson, and in this episode of Better Cocktails at Home, we are making the Negroni. This is kind of one of those cocktails that's now it's very ubiquitous. You see it a lot of different places. It's very simple to make. I think that's one of the reasons why you do see it a lot of places. So yeah, we're gonna make it right now. We'll talk a little bit about it, and yeah, it's a good drink. So there's a lot of different ways you can actually make this cocktail, which I think lends itself to why the ubiquity. But I personally build mine in like a rocks glass. I do it. You could do it mixing glass and stir it, but I like to build mine in a rocks glass. So this is a gin-based cocktail. So I'm going to use Beefeater here. You can use a lot of different gins. 1 ounce of this. And add that to our rocks glass. And then sweet vermouth. Now you can use a traditional red Italian sweet vermouth. I'm using Blanc here. I think it just kind of a little bit of softness to it. I just like how it tastes, but a lot of flexibility. Also 1 ounce of this. Add that. And then finally we have the Campari, which is kind of the signature ingredient in this cocktail. Campari is an Italian Amaro. It means it's a bitter liqueur. A lot of flavor to it, but it also is very bitter. So it can be kind of off-putting for people who are new to it in general. So also do 1 ounce of this. And add that to our glass. I like to just give it a stir at this point just to kind of incorporate it all before we add our ice. Now I'm using a large ice cube here. And just kind of spin it around to incorporate into the cocktail. But this is definitely a cocktail that you can kind of sip over time. So if you serve it and it's not fully cold yet and the ice isn't diluted enough, that's fine, because you can kind of sip it over time and it'll kind of take on some different flavors and kind of develop. So yeah, a lot of flexibility with this cocktail. And then in terms of garnish, you can use an orange peel. I think lemon peel works well too. Either one of those is going to give you a really nice cocktail, and also grapefruit peel is amazing, and then it just kind of gives a lot of flavor to it. And that's a Negroni. You know, immediately you get the Campari taste. That's the predominant taste in this cocktail. And then people, you know, there's a saying that when you've had it takes 3 times to really like a Negroni, and that was true for me too. So when I first had it, I made it like years ago. I was like, oh my gosh, I'm not really into this cocktail. I kind of made it a second time. I'm like, okay, well, maybe I can kind of get used to it and get into it. And then I kept making it over and over again, and now it's just one of those things where your palate gets used to it, and then you figure out it's delicious. So I think the simplicity of the cocktail is what lends itself to so much ubiquity, and it's kind of coming as, you know, the Martini, Manhattan. It's kind of almost not to those levels, but it's definitely getting to be very well known. And it's just so simple to make. It's got really interesting flavors. You can actually riff a lot on it and change it up, whether you're adding grapefruit, citrus to it. There's a lot of different things. You can use different kinds of, you know, kind of Amaros in it. You can use different kinds of gins, different vermouths. So there's a lot of flexibility. And in that is what creates such a great cocktail with such good flavors. But that's how you make the Negroni.